Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the studio. What's that over there for? Oh yeah, 'cause we had a cat cam. We had a cat camera. There's our cat camera today. There he is. Good afternoon. Hope everybody's having a good Monday. Hey, buddy. So, I'm going to be working on putting some handles together. And it's time to play that oh so fun game, Where Are All My Stamps? And why can't I find the one that I'm looking for right now? Hey, Knitter Girl. Okay, cat. Meant to do this beforehand, but I've got to make out a slab so I can do some of my medallions. Let's move some things around over here. I don't know what I just did, but I knocked a few things off. And then I moved the camera. There's my purse. And my slab roller. And just a little bit of clay. I don't need a whole lot for this because it's going to be, I'm going to roll it out really thin. So, we'll just take a little bit of that. I don't even think that might be 2 pounds. It might not be. You can tell Kiba's happy about it. Happy about it. I'm looking for one of my screens that I had, and I just had it. I've seen it in the last week, and I just don't know where it is. So it's probably fallen into the black hole. It'll never be seen again. So I'm stretching this out and making it the length of my table here. Like I said, this is my slab roller. It's just a very fancy rolling pin. I'm going to cover this up. Let's see how much room I've got there. And flatten this out. And I need to adjust this because I was making some bigger slabs the other day. Here we go. Let's see if that's thin enough. Actually, almost seems not. I'm going to thin that out some. I think that's too thick. It's easier to flatten it out again rather than the opposite. It's like that much clay should have made a wider slab. That feels about right. I go probably months without moving this thing at all, and then so I forget what my settings are. Kiba is watching me. I guess he thinks he's going to get something. Oh, and I could have flattened that out a little bit more. Let me get my roller. Just flattening out this lump we've got here at the top. And then we'll smooth the rest of this out. Where might my scraper have gone to? What was the last thing I used it for? Like it's not hanging up in its spot. That's usually the last place I look, though, is, you know, where it's actually supposed to be. There it is. So I've got a flexible scraper here that I'm going to use just to smooth everything down here, because right now it has a texture of the canvas on it. I use the canvas so that it won't stick to the rollers in my slab roller. There we go. I keep looking for this one screen that I know I've seen recently that I need, because I have these silk screens, little silk screens. So something easily losable, right? And I've lost one. Birdie, hello. Happy Monday. Kiba's back here meowing at me right now. You can see him. Oh my, yeah, you can see him back there. Poor buddy. Poor lonely cat. Poor starving creature. Making sure I hadn't put it somewhere over there. Oh well, so I've got a lot of things I need to work on besides just this one piece that I've lost something for, but it's annoying that I've lost it. So I have my phone here. I've got a list of a lot of the things that I need to make. So I'm gonna be that's what I'm gonna be doing today, is going down my list. I've got a bunch of mugs made up, 10-ounce and 20-ounce mugs. Hey, Raven Punk. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody, and happy Monday. I tried to say both of those things at once. So I've got a list I'm going down of things that are just have been ordered. So I've got my mugs made up, I've got some handles made up, and now I've got my a very thin slab of clay here that I will use to make the medallions. Just like this. So if you haven't seen the process before, I take the mug bodies, take the medallions, press the detailed stamps into the clay, or in the with some of the custom orders, I still do the screen prints, which is what I've got to do on a couple of these. But then I cut out the medallion and put it on the mug. So what I've got here, like I said, these are little screens. It's a silk screen just like you would use on a t-shirt. And I use these still because for custom things that I'm only going to use, like make once, I use these instead of making them into a stamp unless it's specifically requested. We'll see if this... That may be too thin. That may be too thin. See if that makes a good print. Or if it bleeds. No, that actually did perfect. Perfect. So we'll do the same thing over here. I don't know if you can't even see what I'm doing now. Here we go. So I'm using underglaze to print on the clay. Perfect. Perfect. And these are very convenient to use because I don't have to have a lot of chemicals on hand. I'm just cleaning these off. Just clean them off with water. Don't even need soap. Just water. This is there's a couple different brands, but the one I like to use is Easy Screens. It's like Easy Screen, or there's another one called Photo Easy. So they're like the same thing, just two different brands. And they come in 8.5 by 11 sheets. So all you have to do is print out like a transparency with whatever you want to make into a screen, and then expose the transparency, and the 8.5 by 11 sheet of that you get that's a screen with emulsion on it, and then wash it out, and you've got it here. You don't have to have a lot of fancy equipment. And then with working with the clay, I can cut it up into little bitty pieces. Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. Shrambini and Nickel, welcome. I'm actually just getting started today, and I'm working on, let's see, maybe get one smaller than that. Get my cookie cutters out. There we go. Do those, and... Really? They can't get you a test until then? Why? They just can't get you in? Wow. But I know everybody is so behind right now. MK, hello. And Raspberry Tea, yeah, welcome everybody. Everybody got here all at once. Welcome. So I'm getting out my list of things. Actually, I know some things I need to do. And I'm going to jinx myself here too. I'm like, I just saw this stamp, and now I'm never going to find it again. There it is. Isn't that what happens as soon as you actually start looking for something? You can never find it again? Yeah, just everything is full. Yeah. We did. We need to change that, don't we? I hadn't even looked at it. Yeah, thank you guys so much. We had a good weekend. Shamini, you're trying to get those channel points. You've changed course to do, instead of doing like a discount, you want to do a viewer request piece. Even if you don't have a clear idea of what it is, you're just thinking of what it could be. Yes, all the possibilities. So this is a stamp that says Goddess of Yarn and Wine. And I've got to make, I don't know if I need to make a full 10 of them, but I know I need like 8 of them. So I need to see in my notes if that was 8 or if it was like, see how many I actually have ordered. Because I tend to do extras, so if I have 6 ordered, then I need to do 8, or if I have 8 ordered, I need to do 10. What is a unicorn fart bowl? That sounds a lot more interesting than it probably really is. Unicorn farts is the glaze color, one of my glaze colors. And so a bowl glazed in the unicorn fart is a unicorn farts bowl. See if I have one over here. So here's a unicorn farts mug. And so you can see it has blue and pink and purple kind of all over it, and it's over gray. So that's the glaze color. Sometimes it's more purple. Right, Iron Leaf. I must perform the summoning ritual. That's what I'm gonna do. Make or buy a new one, and then I'll find it. Yes, exactly. The summoning ritual. Yeah, you're right. Like pink is not, even if you don't like pink, it's just a little bit of pink on there. I don't even know what that thing is. I better look it up if you're gonna ask me to make one. Let's see how many of these I need. $11. So I need 13. What are they then? Tell me and I might remember. I don't remember the name. The aquatic lizard. I think I remember that now. What was it I saw the other day too? The picture of I think it was like a man of war. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. It's like the deadliest thing on the planet. It's so pretty. They look like they're smiling like a real life Pokemon. A toothless? How many do I have? Do I have any badges that go all the way through to show the underlying bowl mug? Well, the way I do these, so I'll have the impression here, and then I'll fill it in with a darker glaze. So they don't, I guess, go all the way through, but they go deep enough that they make an impression. So it depends on the background glaze color, like what I think I can fill in, this area with. Like the green isn't, this impression is not deep enough for the green to really show up that well, so I use black. If that makes sense. Like if I was going to use the same color as the mug to fill in the medallions, then they would need to be a lot deeper. Yeah, the really deep letters. Yeah, I would need a different type of stamp. Like this is about the deepest we can etch with the laser etcher. One more. There we go. And then I need a leaf to do a couple of Kentucky leaves. Maybe more like a cookie cutter, then I'd say that would need to be a more open design. Like if I was going to cut out like cookie cutter letters and just put them on the mug and have it stand out, like that would be different. So I've got my leaf impression here that I'm going to put a couple of different ways and just kind of fill in some space here and then cut out the medallions in the shape of Kentucky, since that's where I am right now. Let's see how many of these I need. You got your newest drawing pad weeks ago, and your first too. Like, is this like a tablet? So I've got that. Let me find my Kentucky thing. So this is my Kentucky stamp that I have over here. And I'm just going to cut this out. Yeah, what kind is it? Try to use all my space to the best of my ability here. Try not to waste any space. We'll do one right there. And then I'll need to do some more because I need 6 of these, so I'll probably do 7 of them. What do I do with the leaf there? The leaf right in front of me. It was right in front of me. I'm going to try to pick this one up if it's not too soft. Good. That way I can go off the board a little bit and do that. Oh, he's back there watching me. He's like, look what I did. I climbed. And you'll notice, like, he wouldn't have done that if Minnie had been up there. He doesn't get on the cat tower when Minnie's there. Minnie will run him off. Yeah, buddy. How many have I done? Only 5. So I'm trying to decide. I don't like, that's where all the leaves come together. I don't really want to highlight that part. I'd rather it be, I think, right there. I think I can do that. And then if I do another one, there we go. And all these scraps I'm just putting back in my water bucket so I can reuse the clay again. And the areas where I've some of the texture that I've got here that I'm not using, I'm just going to smooth that back down and maybe use it for something else. So let's see what is next on my list. I knit so I don't kill people. I'm surprised I don't have some of those just constantly being made. Let's see what I've done with it. I do need that one. Shush, I'm counting. Here it is. There it is. Poor Kiba. He's not going to get comfortable because there's not enough room for him to get comfortable. And what is this? Do they laugh loudly in Hawaii, or is it just aloha? Ha ha. I think that one deserves an eye roll emote. Kill people. And this one says, shush, I'm counting. think I do need to take this phone call, so I will be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. I don't think y'all could see me over here moving things around. Had the person in charge or person that company that's made my extruder. I called them and let them know what my issue was, and yeah, it's dead. It's dead. But so that's what I was on the phone with. I left them a message, and they got back with me with their tech, telling me what I could replace and the prices of such things. Told him what it looked like in there, and it's like trying to explain what happened. What's wrong with your car when it's making a funny sound. Frank, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you forgot you had the stream on, and here I come, start talking again. Sorry, I had a phone call. We'll peel some of these up so that they don't dry out too much, and then figure out what I need to do next. So I guess I know what I'm getting for Christmas. They're not gonna send me a new one over for like something that's 12 years old that I didn't even own first. That's yeah, that's probably a bigger thing. Is I got it used, and I've had it for 12 years, 13 years, almost. Yeah, well, it had a good run, didn't it? Yep. I don't even know what the lifespan of some of these things are. Like, I don't know. Hey, welcome back, Knitter Girl. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I think I've been really lucky that for all the equipment that I have used and purchased over the years, I've gotten most everything used, but I haven't gotten any duds. Everything I've used I've purchased has lasted me a good long time, and it was like this. I got it used, but I don't think it had a great deal of use when I got it. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for when they called. I was looking for some screens. There's my dire wolf, and what was the other one? I need Star Trek. Let's do this one. No, so what's wrong with it? I just told him everything that I thought was wrong, and if that meant anything to him, like, oh yeah, the gearbox is broken and bent, and it's not going to work properly ever again. That's the thing with the extruders, like the pros and cons. They use aluminum for the body of the thing because it won't rust. Because you got clay in there, you don't want it to rust, but also it's softer, I guess. My extruder, my the thing I make my handles with. My poor extruder. So we'll see what we might need to get a new one. Like they told me, I can replace the gearbox for just slightly under the cost of buying a new one. So it's like, do I want to mess with taking it apart or just buy a new one? Or I can get what I've got coming so I can continue to make handles is I've got a die coming so I can make handles with my pug mill, which can also be an extruder. But then I'm putting more wear and tear on that machine, and I really don't need everything to go out all at once. There it is. Is this the... yeah, that's the right one. Let's see if I could fit this right here. I don't know if I can or not. Try to use all the space that I have. Right, yeah, they at least put a bow on it, yeah. That would be a very oddly shaped package. Hey, Fiber Chat! Welcome, everybody. I am one with the yarn, and the yarn is with me. Where's my Star Wars things? I don't know if I've done that one in a while, but maybe I have. Hey, Designs! Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm running around looking for things that I keep meaning to organize, but then never do. So I've got little piles of these stamps here that we make, and we have them all in different categories, and I have little drawers that I put them in to organize them, but I take them out, and instead of putting them back in the said drawers, I just lay them on the table. And then can never find them again. Love it. Yeah, the mud love. That was one of our first ones, and that's one that when we updated our emotes in the past month, we got some new ones designed by Babon Illustrations. We kept the mud love. We kept Kiba and we kept mud love because they were some of our first, and they're still my favorite. But here is this one. It says, I am one with the yarn, and the yarn is with me. Winter is coming. Knit faster! And then the D20. You have a D20 on a 10-ounce mug. I specifically made a D10 for the 10-ounce mug. If I were a D20 stamp, where would I be? Hey, Kempster! There's the D20. So I'll do that one while looking for the other. Shrimpini, have a good afternoon. Thanks for stopping by. My roly thing is sounding like a dead animal, or a dying animal. I'm sorry, guys. You want a bloody D20 tankard. Okay, I'll have to make one of those. I don't have any more tankards made up. There's a D20 for a 10-ounce mug. So today I've got a very thin slab of clay here that I'm making medallions out of, and then I'm going to be putting those medallions on the mugs that you see behind me. Or the ones that are covered up. You can't see them right now. They're covered up by plastic, so they won't dry out. But that's what I'm working on today. But I'm spending the majority of my time just looking for the different stamps that I have. I found it. I got a list of things on order that I'm trying to make today. Let's leave that there for a second. I wonder if this will fit over here. We've got the child. Here we go. Has anybody seen the any of the newer episodes? Has anybody started watching The Mandalorian? I have not yet. Hey, Colleen. Good afternoon. So I've got a list here of things. I think I need a Doctor Who and some curse words. Let's get out some curse words. Feel like curse words today. So I need the police box that says a woman's place is anywhere she wants in time and space. Or in time or space. I forget which it is. But I haven't seen it in a while. I did so many of those. I don't think I've made any recently. But we'll get to some of these here. You've been watching the season 2, typically the Monday after they come out, because they come out. I didn't know when they came out, but yeah. So here is some of the stamps that we have. And we make all of these in-house, so we can do custom things, and we can get some fairly good detail because we have a glow forge that we can etch the rubber with. Hey, Derby. And we have things for all different fandoms here. We just had some things for The Mandalorian, and this one is actually from Outlander. If anybody likes the books by Diana Gabaldon, or if you like watching the series on Stars. This one says Fraser's Ridge, North Carolina. And then we've got, like I said, I had some curse words. F off, I'm knitting. We gotta do a couple of those. And so these are stamps that I'm going, obviously pressing into the clay. We're going to put the clay medallions on the mugs, and then once they're fired, I will put glaze in the impressions made by the text or the graphics so that they'll show up. Kind of like this one. So that's a stamp that we have. This is one of the more detailed stamps. And then we just filled it in with the glaze. Usually with black, a darker color, sometimes red. This one is from The Princess Bride. It's iocane powder. And I still need to get my Doctor Who one out for the female doctor. All right, there we go. There's the iocane powder. Wait, is that it? That's it. I didn't even have to look for it. Here we go. It says, a woman's place is anywhere she wants in time and space. My brother just sent me a Toy Story Avengers Infinity War mashup. I might have to watch that. This is what I've got to think about where this one is. Swatches. Swatches are for babies. To think if I even have this in a stamp. Is it a screen? I had to figure out what swatches were. I had people asking me to put that one on a mug, and so I had to figure out why it was swatches were frowned upon. Is it and just so that I'm thinking about this right, like when you're knitting or crocheting, a swatch is something. It's like a test piece, right? Where you test your gauge to see how much you like swatches of fabric, or like swatches for knitting or crocheting. Is it just a test piece? So like don't. But that would be me. I need to take the time to test it out. Be responsible. But it's a pain in the butt to do, yeah. It's like I don't make this one very often, so I may not have ever made a stamp for it. I'm not seeing anything that says swatches. So I may just need to make something for it. It's a measure of how many stitches per inch and row you're getting compared to the designer. We'll see if it's over here, because I do need my alphabet letters. So this is all my alphabet letters, because I just toss them all in here. So I need the word peace in all caps. So this is going to be, do I have all the capital letters required to spell out the word peace? This is the question. Because mostly I use lowercase letters. C. I got one of those. A. Probably just need to go ahead and buy a few new sets of alphabet letters, because I think I've lost quite a few over the years, I think. Then I've got some pristine X's and Z's that I've never used. I originally, I would make, put people's names on mugs with these alphabet letters, and I started doing everything just with these alphabet letters and doing them one at a time. There's a E, and see, I lost one. I dropped one. I need a P. That's all I need. Come on. There's a B. I could use the B if I needed to, if I don't have a capital P in here. Capital V, probably never used ever. Why does it take me forever to get things done? Because I don't organize anything. One of these days, I'm going to get brave, and I'm going to go down into our basement, into our crawl space, and I'm going to see how many things I have, how many stamps and how many little tools have been pushed into the floor, because we have some holes in the floor, and how many things the cats have just lost for me. I don't have a capital P, but I have a capital R, and I'm going to use that. So, I'm going to do this here, I think. And just wipe away that little leg on the R. Capital P. Peace. There we go. There we go. Oh wow, so there you can get like, well, it makes sense you can get as complicated as you want to with any craft, but yeah, all the ins and outs. So positive ease in a sweater would make it not as fitted. So I've got to make one up that says swatches are for babies. I need to make, so we have a Mind Palace from Sherlock and then a Prancing Pony, which I thought I just saw the Prancing Pony, which again means that I'm never going to see it again. There it is. Now this one is going to be for the Mind Palace. This is one of the first pieces I actually made a specialty shaped medallion for. Everything else was just like a circle or a square, but I really liked it. It was someone asked if they could have like this type of shape with the shush I'm in my mind palace, and so I've started doing it with others. There was a little bit of shadow on that one. Yeah, just wipe it away and start over. Which is the good thing about clay. If you don't like it, just smooth it out and try again. That sounds like us. Your sister called you to ask about Thanksgiving. You told her to talk to mom. She called mom, no answer. Called you to track mom, then mom called her. And then we'll do a couple of these guys. This is drying out since I've got just the very last bit of clay left here, which is why I try to work with these fairly quickly and I don't make a huge slab. Because if it gets too dry, it'll still make an impression, but I need the clay to be just a little bit sticky so that the rubber stamp will fit into it, but not so sticky that it won't release. So there we go. we go. Cut this out. What else was it? I think one of them was a Accio coffee. Make it so, and then a fabric is cheaper than therapy. Maybe those will fit. Make it so. That is a very distinctive medallion, and I don't know the last time I saw it. Let's do this one. Do we get all of our letters pressed in? There we go. And then, what was it? Oh, make it so. And then an Accio coffee, which I just saw. Now, where can I put both of these that they will fit? Maybe right there? And I've got room for something else. So we've started making these so that they cut out the stamps so that it'll be the shape of the medallion, so I don't have to guess or freehand it. And then after I get, these last couple cut out, I'll start working on some mugs, actually. Assembling the mugs. Let's see what I can do with this last little scrap bit. Tia, I need to check on Tia. All right, now see all these that I should separate and put back in their boxes and categorize? I'm just going to put them all in a great big lump so that when I can't find them next time, you can tell me, hey, you used that on this day. It is the second clump of stamps to your left. So let's separate these guys too. So we got these two, which are, okay, all of these are 10-ounce mugs. And those are the 20-ounce mugs, okay. I knew I had a couple. So this is one of the 20-ounce mugs. They still haven't scanned it? Ugh. It's going to be one of those that get scanned after delivery. Most of the time, they're good about, like, if they don't scan it at, like, here in Russellville because they pick it up from the shop, if they just throw it in the back of the truck and go from there, then usually it'll get scanned, like, when it goes to a distribution center. But we'll see. All right, so here we have one of the Kentucky Leafs that I made out earlier, the impression. That's what I'm doing with them, putting them on the mugs. Yeah, it'll be a surprise to everyone when it arrives. All right, I'll just leave that one. Let's see what we got here. Got some 10-ounce mugs. Right, they've been going all year long, and I know the post office has been way behind, especially on packages, because they're getting more packages than they're used to. Was it? It's only happened once in the past week, but like usually they, like when I schedule a pickup, my regular mail person will come and tell me, you know, okay, I'll be back when I'm done with my route for the day to pick this up. So I have until like at least 1 o'clock to pack things up, but they've apparently already got the extra people coming in, the seasonal workers, because they had somebody here at 8 o'clock in the morning to pick up all the packages. So I'm trying to get things done the night before, so I'm not behind on everything. Like this is no when I schedule a pickup, I schedule it during my regular delivery time. Like this is not my regular delivery time. But here, I mean, we're in a small town, and they are usually like if I ask them to, they will come back. They usually will, or they'll send somebody over because we are just like we're less than a mile away from the post office. If we lived out like out in the county or something where they had to make a special long trip, I doubt they would do it. But so with this one, this guy was a little bit dry, and so I'm putting a layer of slip on the inside and the outside to soften it up so I can put a handle on it and put a medallion on it. Now this one's okay. Whoa, Pink. Yeah, there's 3 Amazon warehouses within driving distance of you, so you get them quick. Or if you don't want to wait for shipping, you can do Amazon Locker. Wow. Hey, Mandas. Good afternoon. Yeah, usually like the week or two before Christmas is when they start delivering. You could just have a package thrown at your house, at 8 o'clock at night. Literally just toss it out in the driveway and go. And that's UPS. That's post office and UPS both. Like, because with UPS, you can usually call and find out where something is. Like, and they'll tell you, what truck it's on, and they can track that package that far and say, yes, it's still on the truck. He's still making deliveries. He has until 8 o'clock at night to do that, or they have until, I think, technically they will do a pickup till 8 o'clock at night because they have to get back to the distribution center by 9 o'clock to ship everything out. So I've had that happen before too in the Christmas season. And then the distribution center is only 30 miles away, so we have gone. We'll drive things in sometimes too. Really, Sam? You'd think that with my work, I'd be required to make special requests for a pickup and pay extra fees. No, if you this is for anybody, not just a business. Like for anybody can request a pickup during your regular mail time. Request a pickup, and they will come pick things up. And what I tend to do, and they usually will do that. If I have one or two packages, he'll take them and go, But when I put down that I have 15 to 30 packages, they will usually send somebody out for them. Then they'll send me my own truck. Yeah. Amazon deliveries, yeah, it does the same thing. You can see where the truck is and how many stops before your package. That's nice. Amanda, you just started your first day of advanced ceramics. Oh, good. You're going to make a dinner set, and it's been so long since you've been allowed back in the studio. Wow. So you're like today you're just allowed back in. Wow. Because our local university, like there's like one more week of classes, and then there's no in-person classes at all. After Thanksgiving, they are online only, and that's it. They don't want anybody coming back into town after Thanksgiving. Yeah, they only charge if you do it if you do a pickup that's not in your regular pickup time. If you specifically request that you need it a certain time, I think it's like I don't know actually what it is. Is it? I want to say it's $25, but that seems a bit high. But I guess depending on where you're at, that could mean a special trip, and they don't really want you to do that. Now with UPS, if I create a label, it will automatically schedule a pickup for that day. But if you want to, for anybody to schedule a UPS pickup, it does cost like $6 or something like that. Yeah, you've got a very small class. They allowed only the advanced art students. That makes sense. What they've been doing at our school, which it sounds very much more labor intensive for the teachers, but what they've been doing is instead of having 15 kids in a class, they in a class at one time, twice a week, every single day they'll go in and maybe have people per class, every day for an hour instead of having everybody there for 3 hours. So for classes that need, in-person time or need, to allow students to use the equipment, which is the bigger thing. Hey, Spook! If you see the UPS go down the block and you just run out and stand in the middle of the street, you can hand him a box on his way back. Yep. I'm going to see if that works. I think that'll work. Let's put that back on. So a lot of these are a little bit drier than I would want them to be because it's dried. It's gotten drier in the past couple of days. Man, did I guessed that. I would have guessed that, but I wasn't for sure. Wasn't sure. Oops, I squished the handle while doing that. So everything I'm putting on here is attached with just watered down clay, which is a slip. Some people call it slip or clay goo or, clay glue. But every piece does have Kiba's stamp of approval or just the cat stamp of approval since we have more than just Kiba in here. Though Trix is on an adventure. She's been out like all day and all yesterday too, so we're trying to look for her hiding space. She's done this before, and we did have her cooped up in here for a couple of days without letting her outside, so she's got a warm spot where she goes sometimes. I know because it'll be a chilly day and she'll be outside and she'll come in and she'll be like warm to the touch, so I know she's got like somebody's heat vent that she's sitting on somewhere. I've just got to find it. Figure out where she goes. It is clay goo. She needs a GPS collar, doesn't she? I looked into those at one point and like they're expensive. Like surely they've got to have something that's less expensive now. They could go a couple blocks. I don't know. Maybe not. Several of these I'm working on now say the goddess of yarn and wine. Right, get her a phone and make her call if she's going to be late. Yeah. There's all kinds of little like threads of what your dog would say if it had a phone and could text you. And it's I'm hungry. I miss you. I'm hungry. Squirrel. Yeah. Do I do the copper streams? You mean so the copper pieces that you may see scrolling through the slideshow are it's a copper glaze on a piece, and we do stream the firing process for those because it's a raku firing, which is done outside because we actually need to work really fast for a raku firing. For the copper one specifically, we glaze the piece, we put the piece in the kiln and heat it up to about 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, and then immediately take it out of the kiln, which is why we do it outside, so we don't set anything inside on fire, including ourselves, hopefully. And then we put it in. We make a reduction atmosphere. We put the glazed bowl inside another metal pot with newspaper in it to burn up all the oxygen, and then pour water on top of it to stop the chemical reaction. And that's what gets the copper, the metallic copper color to come out. The begone eyebrows procedure, yes. The only time either of us has ever like lost an eyebrow was when Daniel just accidentally shaved his off. It was hilarious. Though I have lost a little bit of arm hair. I have singed my hair. Gave myself some bangs. So once I have all the pieces and parts made up for this, it's a fairly straightforward, quick process. Put the handles on, put the medallions on. And then now I'm just going to let everything dry out. But there, everything gets the cat's stamp of approval on the bottom. Really? Never grew back? Why can't leg hair be the same way? There we go. So I talked about my poor extruder going down. That's how I made these handles. But with my extruder being broken now, I had to find another way to use the dies to make these handles, because I have a die and I just press the clay through the die. So I kind of strapped the die to my pug mill and used that to make these handles. Ooh, I gotta figure out which side these go on. Which is the front and which is the back. So now I gotta decide if we're gonna replace the extruder or just use the pug mill. Okay, this goes on the front. Almost let these dry out too much. Let's put some slip on those to soften them up, and I'll just do something else with this one. Where there's a will, there's a way, yes. Where there's a panic attack, there's a way. There's a Calvin and Hobbes cartoon that I see people posting every once in a while that's like, I'm an artist. I need to be, in the right frame of mind to make art. You can't just make art on demand. And they're like, well, what's the proper frame of mind? They're like, last minute panic. Last minute panic gets things done. And that's the truth. I'm starving and I need money. Yep. Lori, hello. Yeah, good afternoon. Or good evening. No, it's only 4:45, 5 o'clock. It's getting dark outside, so I can still say good afternoon. Yeah, we are a good portion of the way to 1,400 follows, so thank you guys so much. I'd love to get to that. The only reason I want to get to 1,400 follows is because that would be like double the people we have in the town where I live, and I love being able to say that. Here we go. Don't forget the most important part of the mug, the cat stamp of approval. Space Ranger, hello. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm working on assembling some of my mugs that I have here, and then what I might do is, while some things are drying out, I may like work on prepping stuff for a bisque so I can get some of these things processed. Trying to decide what to do next. Do I throw more things, or do I just go ahead and start like cleaning some of this stuff up for a bisque? But these are the 10-ounce mugs that I'm working on. So this is actually the dregs of my throwing water from yesterday when I was throwing some more mugs. Wanted to do this yesterday, but my poor extruder died. But I did figure out a way to make some more handles, because the handles I have here, I use an extruder which has a handle die in it that spits out this shape, so they're all the same. Calico Cat, thank you for the resub! A whole year! Yay, you get a new emote. You get Kiba. You get the Kiba emote. Or not emote, I'm sorry, the sub badge. You get the Kiba sub badge. You know, I actually made some Calico Cats for an order last week, week before last, and so I have one in the studio. We have a cat yarn bowl that I can put on the in-stock section now. The ones on the edges of the cart always get a little bit drier. So I'm going to rehydrate those first. And I'm just painting them with slip on the inside and out. That will help rehydrate the mug, but not completely break it down. Because water is dissolving the clay, but with this, it's just making it a little bit softer. You think you've got one? Yay! Yeah, I don't make them too often. Usually I just make them to order. Especially this year, I would make some of them and take them to the retail shows. That's why I started making them, just making them a special item only available at the retail shows. But this year we've not been able to do that, huh? Plus, I like it when I can make a cat, like a yarn bowl cat that matches someone's specific markings. This mug is a specific mug for, it has a funny story, or not maybe a sad story, but funny story. I've got this one and one that says I knit so I don't kill people. It's a shush I'm counting mug, and it is being purchased and ordered because there is a husband who broke their wife's mug that was just like this, so they're replacing it, but instead of just replacing it with one, they're getting two, so they get extra points. Alaska Woodturner, thank you for the resub. So I love it sometimes when I get people's stories of why they order a mug. Sometimes they'll just include it in the order, or sometimes, like, I'll hear your story on Twitch, but I like knowing the background of some of the mugs. And sometimes it's funny because I'll get an order for something and I'll have to Google it because I'm like, I don't get that reference. I don't know what that means. Need one for myself that says, I understood that reference, I get it. I feel so special. Oh, it's a Captain America quote. Oh my gosh. Right, Sam? Yeah. Remember that thing you made 20 years ago? The thing with the thing attached? The big thing? I want to order one like that. Yeah. I saw you at a show and you had this thing, and I want to order one like that. I don't have a picture. I can't find it on your website, but I remember it. I had someone leave a bad review, not even just a comment, just a bad review. I'm like, you could have just told me this. You didn't have to leave a review. But somebody was like, this mug is great, but it's not the same as the one I have from 10 years ago, and it's does not exactly the same. So that's why I'm leaving a negative review. I'm like, really? Because nothing ever changes in 10 years. Hey, Underground. And at the time, I had not been making mugs for 10 years when I got this review. And so I'm like, I wonder what this person has. Like, do they have like a very beginning, like really old dumpy mug, or do they have someone else's mug and they thought it was mine? But all in all, over the years, we've not gotten like really like any bad reviews or a lot of had a lot of spiteful stuff happen to us. So I guess we're relatively lucky there. Oops, that one's starting to dry out. Put some slip on that to soften it up. Yeah, it could have been something like that. You never know. So, what does it say? You said it would be a pain to sink the badges into the sides of the cups. You mean like instead of putting the stamps on a medallion and then putting it on a mug, like trying to stamp the side of the mug? Yes, that would be a pain. And one of the reasons I do the medallions is because if it's text and stuff, like trying to get that level and a good impression on the side of a round mug is what would be so aggravating. Shush, I'm in my mind palace. Sherlock Holmes reference. Actually, just Sherlock. That's specifically from the TV show. Like sometimes I wonder like how relevant some of these phrases are anymore because I started making these when the show was still, coming out, like probably the last season or so. But is that something a reference people still get? Like Sherlock Holmes is something it is timeless, but I wonder do people still watch the series? It's very very good. Yeah, people still love it. I love the show. That's one of the things I can sit and rewatch, just like rereading the books or short stories, I should say. Yeah, I can say I had never actually sat down and read through all of the short stories. I think maybe I'd read like Hound of the Baskervilles or something, but I'd never sat down and read all of them or listened to all of them on audiobook, which is what I ended up doing until the series came out, and then I did. And I enjoyed the series so much more because I did. So much cringe, yeah. Now there is like I will say for the most part the stories do hold up over time, but there is a lot of the like damsel in distress and yeah, Conan Doyle doesn't usually think very highly of women. But overall, like the stories do hold up. If that's what you're talking about. Yeah, for that it's something like you just got to take something as coming from the time when it was written. That's why I say I'm surprised that it does still hold up. Whoops. Oh, we got a crack. This one is not going to be holding any coffee. Now, the only way I might try to save that is I can cut off the bottom and like have a piece of clay and attach a new bottom. But then I would worry about the crack around the outside of that. But I'm gonna put this over here so I don't accidentally just put something on it because I forgot about it. Pew, I'm doing pretty good today. Hope everybody else has had a decent Monday. Yeah, you know what? The yarn bowls were at one point my bread and butter. That's what allowed me to go full time because I was making so many of just those and selling them wholesale to different shops that I was able to start doing this full time. And I can't say that I came up with it. It was my local yarn shop that asked me to make some for them, and they just took off from there. Have I been by that shop to say thanks? They when they were still open, yeah, we talked all the time. But they moved away. That was literally 10 years ago this year. See, I see Underground and Sam. I see you've got both got points because I see it both ways. Because I get reading the books in general, you get the opinion that Holmes doesn't have respect for women, and then there's the one woman that outsmarts him, and I feel like that was more of a for the time. Let's say, oh look, we've got look at this unexpected thing that has happened. So that's kind of how I saw it. It's the plot twist. Ooh, Edith, will enjoy your evening, and we'll see you later. It has become time. It's time to become one with the pizza. Well, enjoy and thank you for stopping by. Gotta think about what we're doing for supper tonight. I ended up getting pizza last night. We didn't. It's like grilled cheese was too hard. Lasagna. Another Weird Al song I could start singing. Oops, I'm sorry. He popped up at random in something you were watching. Do you remember what was it? What it was? This almost doesn't fit. It's the D20. I don't think I've ever put a D20 on a 10-ounce mug before. First time ever. I don't even know what that one is. I've never heard of that one. But I'm just setting these behind me here on the cart to dry out. Now I've got La Bamba stuck in my head because I was thinking about lasagna. Fabric is cheaper than therapy. So, am I going to have a couple of these left over? No, these are handles that I made with my pug mill. I strapped the die on the end of my pug mill, and it mostly worked. I actually have a die coming in that is manufactured to fit on the end of the pug mill, so it'll work a little bit better. Wait, I've got two over here, don't I? I already got some over here. So where there's a will, there's a way, right? Or where there's, desperate panic, there's a way. It was not necessarily faster, no. And there was not as much control because I don't have anything back there set up to catch the pug mill spits things out in a horizontal line, and usually I, grab chunks of clay, tear it off, and set it aside and measure everything out. With this, I need everything, in strips. So there was a little bit more clay loss because I'm not able to measure things as I'm getting them out of as they come out. So take some practice to get used to and decide if we're going to get another extruder, what type of extruder we're going to get. Because the guy called like not too long after I started the stream. The manufacturer, I'd called and left him a message and then got back with me. Anybody here in Washington State? Go pick up an extruder for me? That's where they're from. And basically told them what was wrong with it. And they're like, yeah, it's need a new gearbox. And it's going to either spend slightly less money on than the entire thing costs to get a new gearbox or just get a whole new thing. And the only reason I have the extruder is because when I first bought my studio, I bought out another studio. We bought all the equipment, so I did not pay full price for the thing. It cost $1,000. And I use it for handles. I don't do all of my work with an extruder, It's more of an extruder than I really need. But I've used it for 12 years to make handles with, and that, and it was, I was not the first owner. Where there is desperate panic, there is a way, yes. Like I said earlier, there's a Calvin and Hobbes comic that I like that says, I'm an artist. I must be in the right frame of mind to create art. You can't just create art on a whim. You cannot cannot just create art. Tell someone to create art and you be creative. You have to be in the right mindset. What is the right mindset then? Last minute panic. Last minute panic. Proper motivation. What else do I have over here? I have some for the 20-ounce mugs. That's what these are. And that one's almost dried out. I have to make another one of those. It is dry in here. Like it's so much drier in here than I'm used to. So I'm used to being able to leave things out, and now I can't because they are drying out too fast. Let's cover that up. And I've got like 4 or 5 mugs left. So I'll make them into some other things. 5 mugs left. I bought a business, lock, stock, and barrel. I bought the equipment of the business. So I got a pottery wheel, a kiln, slab roller, which is my big rolling pin over here, the extruder, and like a lot of just like books and things like that. Books and like different clay bodies and a lot of just random like little hand tools and stuff. But I got all the big equipment together at once. And it's not as uncommon as you think because people will sell, it's easier to sell just everything to one person, get it out of the way, than to piecemeal things out. So you can find stuff like that occasionally. Right, so there is something to that. Artists need boundaries within which to work. If given complete free reign, there's no substrate on which to gain traction. And that's where what happens to a lot of people when you get out of school or get on your own. Because when you're in school, and I say this all the time, like you've got people giving you projects, you have boundaries, but you also have all this equipment to work with. And when you get out of school, sometimes the hardest thing for people to do is limit themselves. And sometimes I say to people, like when they're trying to get started and they can't figure out where to start on a project, just like give yourself limitations and start on one thing and go. It doesn't matter what it is. Try making a certain thing, practice it until you get good enough at it, and then go on to something else that you want to make. Because limiting yourself is like you say, you need something to give yourself traction. And if you have so many, what you got there? Don't even. There's a mouse. Do you see her? She has not killed it. And she's going to let it go in here. Minnie has a mouse. And you've lost it. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. Oh, yes, like limiting yourself. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do because you have so many options. Like there's so many things you can do and so many techniques to try. Like being able to pick one and just go and focus on something sometimes is the hardest thing to do, but it's the best thing to get you going. Oh no, that's horrible. She's going to kill Mickey. And now Minnie's in the back corner and I can't get to either of them. Didn't even think about that. This is the first time she's ever brought in a mouse, but I wish she had killed it. Now we're never going to find it because it's in behind the shelves. All right, guys, I think I've got my work cut out for me tonight. With a cat and a mouse in the studio. So I'll let you know what happens tomorrow if we find either of them again. Tom and Jerry, yes. Yes, that's what's going to happen here. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go get some supper and then come back, and I may be working on some more of these mugs. The ones I threw yesterday are not quite dry yet, so I may just be figuring out what I'm doing tomorrow, like whether I'm going to go ahead and start trying to process a bisque or make a few more things. If Minnie brings me a mouse, she's trying to teach me to kill it. Just kill it or she will let it go. Gotcha. Is that what it is? All right, Magic. I'll try to remember that I need to make a few of those. They're on the website somewhere. I just don't know where, because I know because someone has ordered one. Like if you're on the desktop where you can search, just search for a tankard. Because I know it's on there somewhere, but I don't know that it's got any pictures on it yet. We just like threw it up there. But anyway, if you have any questions, you can just holler at me. Oh, you look under the mug. I'm not going to get on the floor and try to catch a mouse with this cat. I'm sure she would enjoy that. I'm sure that would make her very happy. Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.